Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the King's Podcast. I'm your host, Eugene, aka G Money. On this podcast episode, I'm going to be talking about South Africa, the way that we have been blessed with minerals, the way that we have been blessed with talent, the way that we have been blessed with just the spirit of Ubuntu, and the fact that this kind of spirit is the one that is killing us as South Africans. If you look at what is going on today, even though we are blessed as a country, we have riches, we have talented people, we have intelligent people, and strong fighters like the Nelson Mandela, the Julius Malema, and many others. The people that we have in this country as a whole, as individuals, as citizens, as togetherness in our own unity, we have a mentality of poverty. We have a mentality of dependency on the government. That's what I want to talk about today. A country that is rich, the richest in Africa, the most wealthiest in minerals in Africa, compared to the DRC, the country that is in chaos. We are as blessed as the DRC, but we have a spirit and a mentality of poverty. If you look at what the DRC is going through, the Congo, what they are going through right now, it's a country in war. It is a country that is getting the South African and other Zimbabwean countries. The war that has been happening in DRC, you can see that it's a contrast with what is happening in South Africa. In South Africa, from the outside looking in, it looks like we have stability. It looks like we have, security. Our country is secure. Our country is doing well. It is the land of milk and honey. But if you look inside, the people living in South Africa, including myself, we have been brought up a certain way. We are so much dependent on the authority. We are dependent on our employers. We are dependent on our government. And the fact that these things are available for us, it cripples us. It puts us in a position where we can't hustle for ourselves. If we hustle whenever we feel like it. We don't hustle like it's, life and death. We don't hustle like our lives depend on it. We hustle because we want to get some money to drink, to have some alcohol, to have some good time and have some party here and there. We don't hustle like our lives depend on it. In contrast, if you look at countries like Zimbabwe, countries like Nigeria, the hustling there, even with the resources that they have, the hustling there is catastrophic. The hustling there, you can see that they're hustling because there is a catastrophic thing that is happening with no jobs, no government stability. They're hustling because they want to survive. Hustling for survival. But in our country, we don't have any catastrophic events. We don't have anything that is happening like war and poverty to the lowest level. Our country is blessed with minerals. We are blessed with opportunities. We are blessed with freedom and a constitution that is regarded as the best in the world. But if you look at us, the way we are, our mentality is that of dependency. We are a country that depends too much on government, too much on the community, too much on handouts. We are asking for handouts too many times. So that's what I want to talk about today. I want to bring to your attention. If you have been watching TV, listening to radio, watching social media, you would have seen that in the past year, in the past 12 months, in the past month also, in the past week also, there are people in the media asking for donations, asking for crowdfunding, and there are people who are taking it upon themselves, taking the initiative to go and raise money for people who are well off, people who are talented, people who were well off at some point, people who had many opportunities. And this is only the tip of the iceberg, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking to the youth. I'm talking to myself right now. This is only the tip of the iceberg. The celebrities that you see, only to mention a few, you have Nandi Nyembe, you have Zola, you have Sweet Guluva, people who are well off or were well off at some point. You have Brenda, actresses who were doing well at some point, actresses who are still on TV, actresses and actors who are still active, the likes of Wakalos, guys who did the best that they could in the industry. They worked hard, they put their energy in the industry, their talent. We talking about just the tip of the iceberg. This is only less than 10 people that I've mentioned, but there are thousands and thousands of people who could be asking for donations right now. People who, if they had an opportunity and a platform, they would ask for donations right now. This is what it is in South Africa, a country that is rich, a country that has minerals and resources, a country with educational systems that are inclusive to everybody. But the way we are acting as a unit, the way we are acting as citizens of South Africa, it tells you there is a much bigger problem. There is a much bigger problem because this is not only celebrities who are asking for money. Every single day on social media, if you don't receive a message or on an inbox or a DM in your WhatsApp, in your Facebook, in your Twitter, in your Instagram, if you don't get a DM, somebody asking you for money, that will be a good day. I'm telling you right now, every single day I'm getting messages on Facebook, people asking for money. If you don't get asked for money, it's a good day for you. You must be appreciative of that, because what is happening right now in South Africa, a lot of people are poor. A lot of people are poor not because opportunities are not there, not because resources are not there, but because the mentality that we have, including myself, the mentality that we have, it's a mentality that has put us in a position where we have to ask for handouts, we have to ask for money from different people on social media, asking for money from strangers. This is what is happening right now. Social media is buzzing with people asking for donations, crowdfunding happening left, right, and center. And we have much bigger issues. We have much bigger problems than asking for 100 rand, asking for 1,000. Some people asking for 100,000. Some people raising funds up to 500,000, 200,000 on social media, doing crowdfunding. And if you can see, I'm sorry to say this, but these people, you will see a lot of Capitec bank accounts moving. And Capitec Bank is, a bank that is for the majority. It is a bank that is used by most people in South Africa. And if you look at most people in South Africa, we are living an average life. We are living a life of poverty. And most of us, including myself, use Capitec. This is the mentality that we have. You don't see people posting their FNB account there. You don't see people posting their ABSA account. Most people, they're posting their Capitec account, which tells you the type of target market of people who are using this bank. People who are using this bank, and I'm not highlighting this to say anything about Capitec, but I'm saying something about us as a people, the mentality of poverty, the average mentality. We are asking for money, asking for donations. You are not approaching somebody right now on Instagram or on Facebook, telling them, I'm guaranteeing you right now, 100 people asking you for money, only 2 people will be asking you for money to start a business. 98 people who are asking you for money, inboxing you, 98% is going to be asking you, I need money for electricity. I need money to buy food for my kid. I need money to buy medicine for my kid. That is the mentality that we have in South Africa. Our country is rich. Our country is blessed. What do I mean when I say our country is rich? Our country is known to have multiple variations of minerals underground that are worth trillions and trillions of rands, that are worth billions and billions of dollars. When you look underground and you look at what we are producing every single year, it doesn't even compare to what we can make. It doesn't even compare. How much money do we make a year? We make close to 7 trillion in terms of production, and mining is a small portion of that. Maybe 30% of the production that we do, it goes to mining. The other, it goes to food stuff, it goes to energy, it goes to fuel, it goes to services, the service industry, construction industry, infrastructure, and all of that. The production we make in the country, from that 7 trillion, maybe 2.5 trillion goes to mining, is attributable to mining. But you look at the resources that we have as a country, underground, gold, you have diamonds, you have coal, you have platinum mines. You can only count a few platinum mines in the country, but we have a lot of platinum. We have a lot of platinum underground, but you can only look at the mining operations that are operating right now. You can count them. They are not that many. The industry in South Africa, different industry, are open for operation. They are open for business. They are open for economic activity to include everybody. But we have the mentality of poverty, and we have been blocked to access funds. You can't access funds easily. If you want to start a mine right now, you're going to meet an obstacle, and that obstacle is money. That's why we talk about money on this show. You are being blocked from doing business because you don't have access to money. You don't have access to information on how to access money. There are a lot of people and a lot of investment companies, private equity funds that have the money. Banks have the money. Your ABSA, your FNB, your Investec, your Rand mentioned banks. These banks have the money. They can finance businesses, but the majority of the people in this country do not have access to that money, do not have access to the funds to start these businesses. So what I'm saying is that the way we are, the way we have been raised, the way we have been educated, we are educated to go to school, get a job, buy a house, go to retirement. That is the mentality that we have. You don't have many people with a mentality of go to school, learn how to make money, get out of school, go and look for the money, start a business, employ the community, produce things that better this country. There are very few people who have been taught that way. And other communities like your Jewish communities, your Indian communities, they have that mentality. They have the white community, the Afrikaner community, they have that mentality. Produce something out of nothing. They are not pushing down their kids' throat this mentality and this education of saying go to school, get a job, get a degree, get a job, buy a car, buy a house. They are pushing a mentality of saying go to school, learn how to do business, come back here at home, in your family, in your community, run a business, learn how to run a business, work in your family business and push. We are living two different lives in this country. We have a poverty mentality and a very few members of the community that are going to push for money, that are going to make money. We have very few people that are making money, that are pushing the resources, producing things, converting resources into products, selling things, making money, converting their energy and their intelligence into consulting services, offering their time and their intelligence and their expertise to others. It's very few people. The top 1%, the top 4% are doing it. Majority of this country, 95%, 80% of the country, we are going to school, getting our jobs, working. And then you see it also in the media industry. Not so many people are having production houses, production companies, buying resources so that they can produce the shows that they can own and their children can enjoy the benefits of those shows. It's very few people who are doing this. Majority in the acting space, the music space, the majority of people out there, they are being taught, go and look for a record deal, go and audition, go and get a job, go and get a role, go and get a contract. You're going to act, you're going to get paid. The companies that are making money, most of them, they are owned by white people. Most of them, they are owned by black people from different tribes. And the majority are just actors. The majority are just singers and talent. Most of these people who are asking for money, if you look at their history, there are very few of them, if none of them, have ever been in a position where they own a production house. Most of them, they were put as faces of stories, faces of soapies and telenovelas, soapies of shows and television shows. If you look at Zola, for example, he was a big name in the country. Sponsors were with him. They were putting him and his face as the face of their brands, as the face of their TV shows, their productions. But has he ever owned a production house? Has he ever had the mentality of owning and replicating what he saw in the industry? I think it's about time. The solution that I'm proposing, it's about time. In the media industry, in the acting industry, it's about time that our people go out there and change the industry, transform the industry, look for ways to raise funds and work with each other, work together, so that when it comes 30 years from now, 30 years from this point, we have people who are owners, people who are their own bosses, people who are capable of running their own companies. We don't want to have people begging for money. We don't want to have our children supporting these causes of donations, to people who had an opportunity to make money. I'm saying this to say that we need to change our mindset. As a country, forget about the media, forget about sis Nandi Nyembe, forget about Zola, Brenda, Carlos, Dales, people who have been asking for donations from the media, from the public. Forget about those. Let's look at me as an example. Let's look at you as an example. As a human being right now, as a person living in South Africa, you don't want to be comfortable. You don't want to be, sitting in a position where you are comfortable, you are employed, you are hired. You want to be in a position where you are uncomfortable. Get uncomfortable, be under pressure to make money, be under pressure to go out there in the streets and hustle and make money. If you look at our streets, if you look at people who are doing door to door, most of these people are not South African. In the streets, people who are selling in the informal market, and the informal market is huge. It's billions and billions. It's close to 180 billion US dollars. This industry, if you look at the industry out there, South Africa, most of the people on our streets, most of the people in our informal environment, economic wise, most of these people, they are foreigners. They have a different mentality from us. South Africa, we need to shift our mentality. I'm saying this with love. I'm saying this because I love us. I love myself. I love my kids. I would love to see us do well, do better. Stop asking for money. If you have been in people's inboxes right now asking for money because you want to buy food, you want to buy a cigarette, you want to buy a 6-pack of alcohol for you to drink. If you have been out there doing these things, stop doing these things. Rather, do this thing while you are asking for money for business. Ask somebody who you see that they're doing well in business to teach you. Ask somebody that you see are doing well in business to finance you. Ask them to buy you stock. Tell them that you saw an opportunity where you live. You think that if they buy you stock for 1,000 rand, you can make money and you can pay them back, or you can make them a partner in your business. You can raise funds that way. Ask people for money on social media because you want to run a business, because you want to buy stock. Don't ask people for money because you want to buy alcohol, you want to buy cigarette, you want to buy a pizza. We have to be more serious, ladies and gentlemen. We have to be more serious. Stop asking people for money for the wrong things. Let's shift our mentality as parents. Let's educate our kids on how to stand up for themselves, how to make money by themselves. Let's motivate our kids to do better. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been nice talking to you, and I'm just touched by the fact that our country is going the wrong direction. The things that we are doing, if we invest our energy into motivating the youth to make their own money, instead of motivating the youth to donate to some old lady who's been acting for 58 years, and she's not in good health. She's still acting, by the way. She's still in a television show, the adulting show that is doing well. Many of these people, they are still acting, they are still doing well, but we are donating. You are even donating to a brother who has just won 2 million rands from Big Brother. We have to be more serious, ladies and gentlemen. Let's teach our kids to do better. Let's teach our kids to invest in themselves instead of investing in these actresses and actors who had an opportunity to make money. Shift the mindset of South Africans, shift the mindset of the sheep that is following like they don't have their own brain. Most of us, we are following like we don't use our own brains. We're just following. When somebody says, hey, donate to Sweet Guluva, you are donating. Donate to Brenda, you are donating. Donate to Sis Nandi, you are donating. Let's use our brains, let's use our minds, and donate to somebody who wants to start a business. Donate to somebody who wants to use their own mind and their own time and resources that are available to them to make money and better themselves economically instead of looking for handouts. This is your boy Eugene, aka G Money, on the King's Podcast. Follow the money. You know what it is.